What's up, you guys? I want to confront the elephant in the room before we get started off, okay? If I'm wearing this sweater super fucking often, it's because I'm getting fatter, my clothes are not fitting, and I'm in this awkward transition period where no one can tell that I'm pregnant, but I definitely know I'm getting fat and my clothes are not fitting. So, you know what? This definitely fits right now, and I'm just vibing with things that fit and don't make me feel restricted. Let's hop into the topic. So, I want to talk about manifesting, and I want to talk about a really, really good ability that you need to have when you're manifesting things, and actually something that got tested recently in my life. So, it's just being able to move forward without worry and being able to pull yourself out of, if you get into like this whirlwind of overwhelm that I know comes along with a lot of the times when you're going to be pushing yourself to advance and to move forward in things that honestly they should scare you, because if you could attain everything that you had on your goal list without growth, without pushing yourself, you would have really shitty goals, to be completely honest with you, because no matter who you are, you're going to have weaknesses and you're going to have strengths, and your goals normally have to do with your weaknesses, and or maybe it's making your strengths better, but either way you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And so when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, you're going to have like fear, doubt, uncertainty, all of these feelings that are like negative, low vibration feelings start to come in. And also at the same time, if you are talking to other people like advisors or whatever it may be about these things, then they can bring in the same worries, uncertainties, fears, doubts, whatever. You're going to have some advisors that, yeah, absolutely, they're going to look at the positive and, get you amped up on whatever journey you're taking on. But just like anyone should, you should be looking out for, the certain things that just have to be taken into account when manifesting new things. So, moving forward without worry, what does that look like? So, what that looks like is you might get yourself into, well, what if this? Well, what if that? Well, what if this? Well, what if that? And then get yourself all worked up and you'll feel negative. Like, when I was thinking about this next thing that I want to manifest into my life, I was thinking like, well, what if this, what if that, what if this, what if that? And then I realized, like, you know what? I don't need to figure out what could happen in because basically imagine like you're in a spider web and that's how your life could go. You could take this one path here and then it could lead you here and it could lead you there. And it's super complicated. Like, if you look at a spider web and you look at all of the, entanglements of if you move this one way and whatever. So stop trying to think what is on the end of this spider web line, what is on the end of that spider web line. Because more often than not, when you just have faith in the universe and you just trust and you believe that it's going to bring you in the right direction, you, in your mind, looking back on something. So I just want you to do this exercise with me. Imagine something that you wanted to manifest or a goal that you wanted to attain in your life. Okay? And it was really, really hard. And then at the end of it all just worked out perfectly. And I'm sure that there's something like the hardest thing just probably came to your mind of like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was like super fucking hard. But then in the end, it all worked out, right? So now I want you to rewind yourself back to the start of that goal, like the OG place, okay? And then try in your mind to make up the idea of everything working out perfectly through the path that you got here, the hoops, the this, the that. You cannot reason with that. So let me just give you an example. For me, I think back to when I decided I'm going to make $100,000 a year. And that was my one thing that I was focusing on. I think it was probably in 2019. I started doing personal development courses, which led me to opening up my own business, which led me to closing down my own business, which led to COVID happening. And through like a fucking spin and everything, we had to move online. I was, all the way to where I am now. Your mind can never logically think of that. So a lot of people, when they're starting to manifest something that, yeah, it's scary and yeah, it's new and yeah, it's foreign to you, they get themselves into this situation where they're trying to sort out every fucking thing that could happen and how it's all supposed to work out in the highest and best ways and how they're going to get to their end result. But I just gave you a prime example. You could have never thought that all of those things would align so perfectly to get you to where you are now. So stop thinking that you're going to be able to think it through. Look at what the next step would be if everything was to work out in the highest and best ways, which is not saying perfectly, but it's saying in the way that things should. You know, your divine timing is something that is so beautiful and so magical, and sometimes you feel like the world is crashing down, you know, around you, and it's all happening because it should be happening. And then when you look back on it, you're like, wow, I gathered this valuable life lesson and I gathered this value from this. And, you know, had that have not happened, then I wouldn't have had this. And, you know, all of those things are super, super important. So pull yourself out of that brain fog first and get yourself into thinking, if it would work out, what is the next step that you would take? And then just start by taking that. You know, for me, something that I turn to a lot is prayer. I will literally stop everything that I'm doing and I will take 5, 10, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, however long it takes. If I need to communicate to God, I'm sorry, but all of these physical things that are happening right now is not more important than my spiritual well-being. So if I see I need a minute out to work on my spiritual well-being, I'm going to do that because that is really my priority. Spiritually, I need to be clean. I need to be feeling good. I need to have my energy in alignment. I need to be able to have that power and that magnetism to be able to draw in the things that I want in my life. So that for me is paramount to everything. Like my connection with God is paramount to everything. And when you go through these things, sometimes you feel like you're disconnected. You feel like you can't hear the right thing to do. If you're trying to make decisions, you can't hear what God is trying to tell you. And then you just need that moment of silence to realign yourself with that peace. And then once you have that moment of peace and you can realign yourself, then you're going to have the clarity to be able to make that decision and come to, you know, moving forward and just doing it faithfully, you know. I like to turn things over to the universe. So I like to take my steps and then I turn it over, you know, I want the highest and best for myself, and whatever's supposed to happen in my divine timing will happen. So then I take my steps, and if something really doesn't work, then I know that's not it. I heard this saying once. If you see a bus and you run after it and you miss it, you can be sure that it's not your bus. But if you see a bus and you don't run after it, you're never going to know if God put it there for you or not. And so I think back to that often. You know, if I see an opportunity and I take it and it fails, then I know for sure that that was not destined to be in my life. And then that's okay. Then I can, you know, use my methods that I learned to release things that are not for me. I can use the learnings that I have to accept and understand that that's not for me, and be excited for something that's going to be better than that, and in, you know, much more alignment than what I thought that was. But you need to run for that bus. You need to take your action and then honestly let God decide what needs to happen from that point on. So that's pretty much all I got for you today. That is definitely how I would move forward without worry. I know that I remember manifesting a lot of things in my life when I wasn't ready and it felt like it wasn't the right time, but in hindsight, it really was the right time. And the only way I was able to find out, for instance, I adopted a dog. It was probably the last $300 that I had to buy her. And I didn't really know if I liked the dog when I first got her. But I had been manifesting a toy poodle. I didn't manifest a girl or a boy. I didn't manifest a specific color. But I just said I wanted a toy poodle. And I wanted it to be older. And I got exactly what I manifested. And then it came the time to make the decision if I was going to get the dog or not. And then I just decided that I was going to do my part, and that the universe, if the universe was going to stop it, was going to stop it. And I didn't feel ready for a dog. I was living out the back of my car. But honestly, I feel like she had a better life in the back of my car than me living in the apartment, because it was just so dog-like. It was so authentic and genuine, and we had so much time outside. We were always outside, and you wouldn't spend hours scrolling on your phone or not doing much because you're living in your car, so you don't want to go over your data. And it's just, I know it's out there and it's whatever, but honestly, we had the best time. I feel like she really helped me get through a point in my life that would have been hard to do alone. And it was nice to have a little snuggle buddy in the back of my car with me. And it just gave me another element of my life. And so even though I didn't really feel 100% ready for her, I just took my first steps, and then God manifested her in my life, and I love her. I would never go back. I would never change that decision. But at the point in time that I was at, I was maxing out a credit card to buy a dog, and I was living out the back of my car. So really, is that the most wise decision? No. But if you go back, would you change it? Absolutely not. I love her. We have a great bond. I call her my little Velcro because she's just stuck to me all the time, and we have the greatest time doing anything and everything. She's for sure an adventure buddy. And so you can have like the most beautiful things show up in the most random times when you really don't feel ready for it. But you need to start by taking the action, then you let God do the rest, and you let the universe stop it if it needs to be stopped, and you let the universe manifest beautiful things in your life if it's trying to, and it needs a little help from you, because you need to take inspired action in the direction of the things that you are manifesting. Otherwise, they can never come true. So you have to be able to not just allow the universe to manifest miracles in your life, but you need to be able to do some work to help it manifest and help it come to fruition. So, like I said, that's pretty much all I got for you. As always, like and subscribe, join the community. You guys are going to have so much more content coming out here than anyone that's on my Instagram or my Facebook or any other platform. You guys are the first to know. You have to turn on the little bell so that you get notified every time that a new video drops. But if you guys haven't figured it out, it's pretty much Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Unless I get the days of the week mixed up, that's when I'm going to be on here posting a video for you guys. So I will see you in a few days on Friday.